The movie I chose to watch is Matchstick Men. I genuinely enjoyed watching this movie and it helped me see what it was like to live with a disorder. I also liked how we were able to see Roy, the main character, life a year after an incident happened. Roy was diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder by his psychiatrist and self diagnosed himself with agoraphobia. He truly dislikes being outside, and his anxiety is out of control when in open spaces. Based on the DSM-5, Roy has a few compulsions. One of the compulsions that Roy shows in this movie is excessive cleaning. When Roy cleans, he makes sure he gets the house from top to bottom and every single crevice there is. Another compulsion that really shows is not allowing people to wear shoes in his home. He makes sure that they take off their shoes at the door right when they walk in and sometimes before they even walk in. Roy also shows signs of compulsion when he is opening the door. He makes sure to repeat the action of opening the door at least 3 times before allowing the person to come into his home. He also does this action when he is closing the door after leaving or letting someone out. He smokes compulsively, going through many packs of cigarettes in a day. I also noticed that when Roy is having a conversation under stressful conditions, he tends to clear his throat a lot to alleviate anxiety and has a face switch provoking Tourette syndrome symptoms. At the beginning of the movie, Roy is taking these pink pills that his old psychiatrist prescribed, but once he starts seeing this new psychiatrist, he is giving some other pills illegally. We later find out that they were over-the-counter menopause pills, and the act of taking the pill is what helped calm down Roy, not the pills themselves. At the beginning of the movie, Roy was cleaning his house unnecessarily because he ran out of pills after his psychiatrist skipped town. He cleans when he is under a lot of stress. It helps calm down his anxiety. For a living, Roy is a professional con artist and he is very good at his job. He made hundreds of thousands of dollars off of scams. Unfortunately, Roy is not in a relationship, and the last time he was with his ex-wife was 15 years ago. He goes to the grocery store every day, and even though it is not stated, you can tell that Roy is interested in the cashier. He only goes in her line and always makes sure to make conversation with her. When Roy is in therapy, his therapist urges him to reach out to his ex-wife and the possible child they have together. Roy is too scared to reach out, so the therapist does it for him, and he finds out that he has a 14-year-old daughter. At first, Roy's disorder makes it difficult for him to open up to her, especially because she is very messy, and also because he doesn't know how to be a father, but eventually they end up having a very beautiful relationship. At first, you can tell that Roy let his disorder take a hold of his life. He didn't have a job, and it seemed like he would smoke and clean every day and all day. Once he got a job, it was easier for him to live with his disorder. He made a schedule that he would follow and allowed him to carry a normal life. Once his daughter came to live with him for a few days, his schedule was altered, but you can see how this affected him. But once he was able to adjust to this new norm, he was back into a good routine. The reason for his disorder is unknown. It could have been developed, caused by PTSD, or a disorder that he was born with. The people around him seemed to be very understanding of his disorder, but unfortunately, we later find out in the movie that they took advantage of that. Roy is a middle-aged man living in California in the early 2000s. You are able to tell around what time you are able to tell when this happened historically, because the TSA security is very strict. And after the 9/11 attack, people were not allowed to pass security without having a plane ticket. I highly recommend this movie, and if I'm being completely honest, I didn't know what this movie was going to be about, and I was pleasantly surprised. I learned a lot about the OCD disorder and how it affects people. I believe everyone should watch this movie to get a better understanding of this disorder. It also It also shows how someone with such a big disorder can function and how important it is to carry out a normal life, if possible, and to take control of the disorder and not let the disorder control you. Thank you.